So this video is so that I can look at stuff, go through it, and I don't actually have to be out here to ponder. That way I can see everything. Ooh, that's busted off. That's not good. But that's okay. Part of it. The old seatbelt special that the salvage yards always do. This fan's gotta come off of there. Let's see. Let's keep going around. See what's cut. What can be salvaged. What can't be salvaged. Yada yada yada. Well, let's look at the transmission. We're supposed to be. Now I gotta get that little screw bolt, whatever that setup is. Let's back up a little. Supervisor's out here. I got a new one of those already. Have to take these bolts off. Take that off. Looks like they just sawed through that buddy. I guess the simplest way to do it. Then we got the reverse switch that I gotta get new. And I was looking at these transmission cooling lines from the Vic. They might be able to work. So I'm kind of curious how that goes. Yeah. So this is the Vic stuff. I was looking at that transmission taper compared to these two to see how much, if I have to remove the transmission tunnel, or if I'm going to be able to kind of snuggle it in there. I think it's going to snuggle in there, but we'll see whenever that gets here. If not, we'll take out the transmission tunnel. So let's see here what we can salvage. Let's see, I want that cooling stuff there. I'm really curious if the alternator is the same, because this is the police interceptor alternators are a little bit larger than your standard Crown Vic. Let's see here, these lines. We come back here. I really think that might work. But also, I did confirm that the starter is transferable. So is that? So you can use the Vic one for the V10. Let's see. Let's see here how these go. Need to remove those. Probably should go ahead and douse them and get them loosened, or loosen the, put the coil on them, get them ready to be moved over. That'll be next weekend's project. Let's see as we continue around here. Go back around. I noticed that the fuel lines, they use two different kinds of fuel lines on these. So this, I think this is the return line here. It has to be a return line or something. This had a little clip on it that was dry rotted and broke whenever I pushed it out. Now, the V10 has a different setup there. It looks like, I wonder if my tools will actually work on this one, because they didn't work on the other, unless I were doing something wrong, which is possible. Take a dude that don't really know how to do this kind of stuff, to doing this kind of stuff, and make it work. So let's see what we got. So we got our bolts, reverse switch, clutch, our flywheel, clutch pressure plate, other bolts. We can, we got in here, a cheapo torque wrench, because we want to do this as affordably as possible. Brake cleaner, bought those, fuel line removal tools, because my metal ones didn't work. So I wonder if these plastic ones will actually fit. Then the Harbor Freight, they always got gifts, so they gave me these. So I guess I'll use these whenever I clean the oil off of the surfaces. Let's see. So yeah, that's what I intend to do today. We're gonna look here. It's been storming. Well, it stormed yesterday. We're gonna see about removing these bad boys. I already broke them loose. So yeah, we'll get this flex plate off. See what we got going behind there. We might have to buy more stuff, but that's part of doing this. Then we gotta come over here, clean this up. You got that, so we'll replace that. The little pivot deal back there. Yes, if that's gonna work or not. I think it will, because it doesn't really actually do much, but we'll see if it fits in place okay. I want to clean up that, I want to spray and clean up this fork. Spray this down with some cleaner. Let's see how that goes. Show you, all these holes don't line up, so I'm gonna spin the flywheel around to get them to line up. Now you can see that they do line up. So whenever you're putting this on, if your bolts or your holes are not lining up, spin this around to where it does fit. That's of course if you double check that you're using the right flywheel and things like that, but it's one of those deals where, you know, take your time, make sure you're getting the right part to put on, go from there. If you bought the right part, see how these are lining up. In this case, we have this indicator here that it's close to the bottom. We got these little holes there. So yeah, I don't have better advice than that. Take your time. If you bought the right piece, it's probably correct. Just spin your flywheel around and get your bolts to line up. All these holes are not equal distance apart. They're a little bit offset. So that's my 2 cents. So I wanted to show you guys what I use to torque these down. So I used a little pry bar with a little wrench, put it in here, and got it on one of those teeth there. It's actually kind of on 2 teeth. and fix that in position so I could go around with the torque wrench and start torquing those down. Haven't cleaned it up, that's why it has so much debris on it. But yeah, just wanted to show you that. There's a bunch of different ways to hold the flywheel still. That's still whenever you're trying to torque them down, but that's what I used. Worked out great. Wanted to show that part. So we got the spline. Whoop. We got this spline between that T and that 7 there. So it's sticking straight up. So I'm gonna go get the. I also tried some of these bolts through here to make sure they were gonna work. Which I did that on the flywheel also. Put them in there in little ways to see, make sure if I did this correct, got the right pack, kit, screws, whatever. Yeah, so don't want to drop that, get dirt on it, because you want to keep this, try to keep that as clean as possible. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Okay, so I wanted to show you all that before I go too far. I'm gonna tighten these down kind of hand tight, and then I'll come back with the torque wrench and torque them. I'd say most things I kind of do hand tight and then a quarter turn, but this is kind of precision. Oh, keep that in there for a minute till you get these torqued down. But anyway, I will turn this back on in a bit after I get all these tightened. Okay, so they put them on, torqued them down. You want to go in a cross pattern because you want to distribute pressure. So I did top, bottom, top left, bottom right, bottom left, top right, and then I got them all situated, and then I went through and I double checked their torque. And try to keep that as clean as possible. Wear gloves if you got them, or make sure your hands are clean. You don't want to leave like your skin's oily residue like on any of it. But that's that. Now we're gonna clean the fork and get that fella out of there because I got a replacement. Okay, so I got the old one out, got the new one. Want to clean up some of this grime on there before put the new one in. It's crazy windy today. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me over the tractor. But I had the dowels in there and it didn't want to come out. It was pretty rusted and seized in there, so I couldn't get it to quite turn. So I used a 9/16 there, hammered it on, and got it to turn. Used some Crow oil to get it to turn. Then I used pipe wrench and kind of put it at a bind as it turned, and it started pulling it out. Then I were able to take the flathead and go from behind it and hammer it out. But that was pretty tough. Okay, wanted to show you guys the difference between the SuperDuty engine mount and the Crown Vic engine mount. Get these out of the way. So they do line up. It's kind of crazy to think this is the furthest I've come with this, and I still don't know if it's actually going to work. But so we got that. They line up there. Then I'm gonna go put this buddy on. Yeah, see how I can do this. Keep on trucking. Can't see well because the sun glare. Let's see. Okay. So what I'm looking at is if I use the correct side engine mount here, I don't think I have enough. I don't think the input bolt there that goes down into the cross member, I don't know if it's in position. And what I'm looking at is if I use this one, I actually gain about an inch and a half, I think, something like that, towards the transmission. So that would shift the engine forward, and that may be better. And I kind of think that's where it's supposed to be, but I'm not sure. So initially, I'm going to put them on the same side that I'm going to put the 4.6 engine mount on the V10 on the same side that I got it off of. If it's wrong, or if I need to change it, then I can lift the engine up, switch this over, switch to the other side, drop it down. But that's what I'm going with for now. You watching the video, you'll know this at the end of the video, because I'll put it in there. But yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at, using this where it drops through to shift the engine backwards or forwards, which I definitely want to shift it forwards. But then we get into oil pan. If that oil pan is going to work, I'm kind of thinking it's not. I kind of think it needs to be shallower, but we'll find that out as we go as well. Just an update. Okay, so update. These are the bolts from the engine mount on the driver's side. Those are the bolts from the engine mount on the passenger side. Now, that is the difference between the passenger side and the driver's side. It's looking like this is not going to bolt up as easy as people on the internet like to say. But we'll see. It's a little bit cold today, but still putting work in. So, I'll show you here. I wanted to went ahead and took the fan out. Good God, that's heavy. Because we're gonna have to switch to an electric fan, so that's not gonna work anymore. Yeah. So use the chain vice grips, and then a pipe wrench. You have the correct size for this fella. I don't remember what size that is, but you can do that too. Use what you got. Make things happen. So I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna take the starter off of the 4.6 to put on here because I want to put that on before I drop the engine in. You get to see if this is going to work. No. Good day. Okay, got here, flip that around. Now, what we got here, let's see, right there, where that ear is broken off here, right? So we're gonna do something a little bit different to get that held in place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a bolt with a nut on it and put that through, then tighten this down, torque that down to its torque. And I'll show you whenever I get that put in place. What's that? It's kind of crazy because this actually feels better than the other ones. See how that does. That nut there is actually supposed to be the nylon nut, but I couldn't find that, so this is the next best thing. I should probably also have red Loctite, but we got the blue one. Now I'm gonna switch the starter over and go from there. So the manifolds, the oil pan, transmission. Wow. There's the crows here. So this fella here and the one on the other side were getting caught in the bay whenever we were putting this in, so I started removing them. This one here, that bottom piece broke off. I was trying to use the adjustable wrench here to get that off, so I had to use the double nut trick to do that. You tighten them up to one another, get them snug, then you grab onto this top bolt, and then you can turn it. Let's see, it's really snug. I might have to hammer that back on to get it on there. But anyway, that's that. I'm gonna take this out, then I'm gonna take the oil filter off, and then we'll be able to attempt to put it back in tomorrow. I did have to hammer that back on. It was just so rusty or something. I don't know. Put some crawl oil in there. Keep working it back and forth to work that all the way down. Then I'm gonna take that buddy out of there. So I'm inside, looking around in here to see how far the shifter's gonna come up. And I'm thinking it's going to come up here, which would be perfect, because then I can just cut this little area out and I won't have to remove the whole tunnel there. But if we do have to remove the whole tunnel, that's okay too. I kind of was planning for it. If you go with the transmission I was going to get originally, the TR3650, the Mustang GT transmission, I think it'd actually fit better in here than the ZF S650. Also, if you wanted to make this a like a faster vehicle rather than a grandpa drive around, far around kind of truck, that GT transmission will be better for you. My main goal is to show you what the V10 looks like in the engine bay, so you'll know if you would want to take this on for putting it in your Crown Vic. The supervisor's out here trying to supervise and he can't squeeze in the door. Thomas. There he comes. Supervisor supervising. But it's looking like it's going to be right here. Underneath you can see these two pinch welds there. So it should be right here. Then it's going to come through. Then you'll have your shifter coming this way. It shouldn't be too bad. He made his way in. So I did have to take out my the floor AC deal. Can you move? What the hell? What the hell, Thomas? He's gonna go rub on every single thing. Like, Thomas, he'll go rub on every single thing. Kaji, you let her out, the first thing she wants to do, she'll find the biggest pile of rabbit crap and go roll in it. Every time. Every time. And if us don't come outside, he's fragile. But that's that. Should get this, I don't want to say, but I gotta say, should get the engine in the bay tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, so that is our Triton V10, our Crown Victoria engine bay. Of course, it's not all the way in yet, but it's sitting in the mounts there. You can see down there. Well, kinda. So what I will say is get your driver's side in there first, then work on your passenger side. Then go through and start assembling. Let me get a back up here to let y'all see what that looks like. It's kind of actually doesn't look that much forward. Like 4 inches really isn't that, well, I'd say it's not that much, but depending on what you're dealing with, you know, an inch, quarter inch is a headache. Because that passenger side engine mount, it was literally like a 1/8 of an inch off. Of course, if you have the right tools, this is going to make so much easier. But this being my first kind of project like this, I don't have the right things to do this with. Kind of just going by like hand tools. I do have the tractor because of my farming stuff, but other than that, it's just the ratchet and wrenches, and engine hoist. Well, yeah. Oh, that too. I couldn't get them together. I couldn't put them in there while they were together, so I had to take the transmission off. I'm going to have to figure out how to get that on while the engine's in place. Here again, if you're going with a different transmission, you have your own unique issues there. Oh, here comes the supervisor. Yeah, I wanted to show y'all what that looks like in here. Move that off. Yeah. One more thing down. now that it's in place, I can start going through it and seeing what I got and what needs to be replaced, that kind of deal. I don't know if I'll continue to make videos on that or not, but we'll see. But anyway, good luck.